Rangers and Leeds United are now owned by the San Francisco 49ers. Obviously, the 49ers took complete control of Leeds United around about a year ago. They have now completed the acquisition of Kavanagh and Steinson and co, taking over Rangers. And obviously, Leeds' chairman, Parag Marat, been a big part of that as well. It's exciting times for Rangers. An ownership model which has worked when it comes to the 49ers, and I think it has worked when it's come to Leeds United and their full ownership only being a year, and the improvements that they've made. And I think when you're looking at the transfer window, Rangers fans should be really excited. The quota to catch Celtic, the quota to be better than Celtic consistently. Can the 49ers deliver that? Well, the movement between Leeds and Rangers may become a thing now. It may become something that's going to be ignited from both parties to suit both parties. We're going to be talking today about 5 players that Rangers should consider, maybe Leeds should consider sending the other way or bringing in. Now, my first pick is this guy, Mateo Joseph. If Rangers can get this one done, it would be ambitious. There is calls from Girona, there's calls from Getafe, there's calls from Real Betis and Strasbourg. But if Rangers can compete for this signature and can bring someone in of Mateo Joseph's caliber, that is something of which I think can definitely take Rangers, especially in the SPL. With Joseph's tendencies and how good he's been, I believe, you know, without getting the goals to give him that recognition. It's his first season. He's rash, he's raw, but he has that quality. He has the tendencies to be able to do really well in the SPL. His pressing intentions are very good. He's able to deliver that consistently. His off the ball work's very good. I think his movement is exceptionally good as well. And when you look at the clubs that are in for someone like Mateo Joseph, I think this works absolutely perfectly for Rangers. I think he'd do really well in the SPL. I think it is a little bit of a natural sort of veering away from the Championship, maybe before getting to the Premier League. I think if from a Leeds United perspective as well, if you're keeping him close tabs on him as well, I think that'd really work nicely. And if he could get his goals tally up and maybe Leeds have a first buyback option, who knows? That'd be great for Leeds as well. But from a Rangers perspective, in the immediate future, this guy would 100% take you to, in my opinion, the next level when it comes to goal scoring. Not quite proven yet when it comes to that field, but he is raw. He is a little bit rash, but I think honing in minutes as well, I think it would be a really good signing for Rangers. So the next player that we're going to move on to is someone that is going to sturdy up Rangers midfield, in my opinion, if you will allow him to and you bring him in. It is Ilia Gruev. Now, for Leeds United in the Premier League, I'm not so sure this one works in terms of the athleticism and physicality that he'd effectively be able to bring and fit in. And I think he is. I think Leeds are going to bring in better players than Ilia Gruev. But for Rangers and Rangers' situation now, I think he'd come in, be that holding midfielder who would be able to give the ball off to your flagship players. He's very good at keeping the ball. His percentages in possession are excellent as well, which I know when you dictate in a game and you're in possession consistently, he's maybe someone from a deep line playmaker perspective who could develop into that with the right coaching at Rangers. There's been rumours of Ancelotti. There's been rumours of Russell Martin coming the manager. Maybe a bit of a tempo dictator like Eli Gruev would fit into that Rangers setup and would fit into the SPL seamlessly. This would be a deal that I think Rangers would be able to get done for around £6 million, maybe a little bit more with instalments. I see this as quite a realistic deal, to be quite honest with you. Maybe it'd be a loan with an option to sign if he does well. But also maybe it'd just be an out-and-out signing. But I think this would be a really decent one for the Gers to get in. I think Ilia Gruev at Leeds United has been good when it's come to his level. I don't think he's an exceptional player, but I think in that Gers midfield, he'd be a really decent addition to, as I've said, dictate that tempo and be someone who they could consider maybe as a long-term option, even if it just starts out as a loan. Let us know, Gers fans, in the comment section below if you've seen anything of Ilia Gruev and if you'd be interested in that as a potential signing. Now, the next one isn't someone, again, who's at Leeds United right now. Leeds have let him go. Joshua Gilavogi, and the experience factor is massive here. He, with the bed of talent that Leeds brought in, was absolutely exceptional in keeping that group together and being such a leader off the pitch. He was spoken about as being a key figurehead, and when you're trying to catch Celtic, when you're trying to hunt them down, you don't just want old players, you don't want this, that and the other. When it comes to that, you have to have old players mixed with a real blend of youth, and that's why when you kind of look at Ilia Gruev, not an old player, young player, you look at Mateo Joseph, young player, somebody who could exercise that right with Leeds United, maybe loans or maybe permanence. But Joshua Gilavogi, free agent right now, someone who I feel made a massive impact for Leeds United in our Championship campaign in terms of personality coming in, That's what we recruited for in the free agent market. And I think someone like him for Rangers would keep everything knitted together. And I think would be something that you would explore for maybe different reasons as opposed to the quantitative reasons of stats and numbers and numbers and numbers. I think a lot of it is the off the field stuff, which I think is massive. And Rangers have seen that with some of their experienced players with years gone by, Alan McGregor, etc., etc. So I think this would be a really good move for Rangers and someone who they could definitely consider in the next phase. So this is an interesting one as well, Jers fans. Someone who I think could be the best signing. Could be the best signing. Yeah, I don't think Leeds are going to keep hold of him. I think Jack Harrison will be looking for a new home. I think in the SPL there is I believe as a left or right winger, I think he'd do quite well. I think there is a risk here with Jack Harrison because it is Jack Harrison. He can kind of be a bit hot and cold, but I think there's a real possibility here that he's able to perform at a really decent level as well. The problem with Jack is it's always been his consistency, but maybe up against the teams in and outside of Celtic and Celtic in particular, maybe he can perform a little bit untested when it comes to developing that momentum throughout a season with Jack, but his profile is there. He's played in the Premier League for numerous years. I don't think he's going to get that Premier League offer again, to be honest with you, but there should be a consideration, in my opinion, and probably the picks of the pile here when it comes to it, and maybe the realism is Jack Harrison, maybe a loan, maybe a permanent, but definitely I'd be keeping an eye on this one as potentially someone who could really fit in and be a little bit of a difference maker. Someone very much of the Ryan Kents, in my personal opinion. A lot of similarities there. So the next one that I'm going to speak about as well, Jers fans, is this guy, Karl Darlow. Now, Leeds, I don't think should let him go, really. I think Leeds should make him a third goalkeeper. They're bringing a second and a first. But Darlow, when he's come in for Leeds, he's not played a lot of games, but when he's come in, he's been calm. He's been assured. Obviously, Jack Butland, I think he's been a little bit all over the place when it's come to Rangers this season, in my opinion. Jers fans might agree, might disagree. I think there's a little bit of, once again, that problem when it comes to consistency with Jack. But Karl Darlow coming in, for me, would be a little bit of assurance. For me, is a little bit of quality. And for me, would be a really good addition to this Rangers setup. I think Leeds would be quite reluctant to let him go, but exploring that, if Leeds were to get two decent keepers in and keep, let's say, an Alex Cairns, would be interesting to see if that one would develop from a Jers perspective. But there are 5 players there who I think could help Rangers in different ways. I think there's a lot of quality in there. There's experience. And I think there's also players in that midfield area and just that spine area who will be able to help Rangers get on to maybe that next level when it comes to potentially catching Celtic. We know Celtic have got a lot of talent. Rangers have got a lot of talent, but right in there, the here and now with these targets, I think there are some in there that would really, really improve Rangers as well. Let us know what you think in the comment section below, everybody. Would you be going for other players at Leeds United? Would you be going for any of these players whatsoever? Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Hope you enjoyed the content, and I will see you in a bit. Cheers.